Welcome back to Transform in 20 Minutes a Day. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about intentions, morning routine, journaling, gratitude, I am statements. All of those are part of you transforming your life in 20 minutes a day. And as you know, this series, some of these are going to be 20 minutes long, and some of these are going to touch on maybe 20 topics. But the idea is that in different 20-minute segments, what could you do that would literally set you up for success in weight loss, in life, in happiness, in health, in longevity? That's the point, okay? The point of everything I'm doing here is to help us live a longer, healthier life. Not be married to the scale, not be married to a size, to be married to your healthy, beautiful lifestyle, which first and foremost includes growth and development. Personal growth and development. Part of personal growth and development is spending time doing these things I've been teaching for 5 years that we've been together. You know, taking time for yourself, setting intentions, doing journaling, prioritizing, planning your day, having a mindfulness routine around everything you do, being present. All of those are ways that you could spend 20 minutes a day. Let's look at this list and let's do this one by one. Okay, as you know, some of these are going to be 20 minutes long, and some of them will be just think of it as how many of these could I put in 20 minutes? Okay, for today, setting intentions, daily intentions. What are my goals for the day? Let me write it in big letters at the top. Okay, what do I hope to accomplish today? Where, for me, always it's let me be a shining light. For me, it's saying my I am statements. I am a child of God. I walk in love and self control. I am. I do. I don't really say. I say this different ways, but I am a whole healed person. I claim that, like I speak that over me. I know the power of words over your life. And everything I've done from audios to videos to interviews to podcasts, really, it has been to just speak good words over all of us. This whole idea behind positive thinking and the slight edge and transformation comes down to consistent daily behavior. And what are those things, Lisa? Dial me in. Tell me those top things. I told you how to eat. I told you how to move. I've shared what I do, right? I shared what I do. I shared what I've studied. I've shared everything. I shared everything really in the last 5 years that I go through, the personal setbacks, the ups and downs, all of it, the great successes, right? The failures. I have it too. But part of this series, the idea is that if I can get you to just grow and develop and put in 20 minutes a day, and I'm going to talk about a bunch of different things you could do in those 20 minutes, okay? But today is really about planning and mindfulness. Get up in the morning, and a typical day for me is delaying coffee for 30 or 45 minutes. I've read some studies about just giving your body the time to wake up. I do go out in the sunlight first thing. I do some stretching depending on where I'm at in the season. I might do grounding, take my shoes off to do stretching in the early morning sun. I am a big believer in 15 to 20 minutes of sun a couple of times a day without sunscreen or sunglasses. Now, if you are out in the sun all day, you do need sunscreen and sunglasses. But that's like part of my morning routine. Okay. So I no longer necessarily have to intend to do those things. I do those things on vacation. It doesn't matter. But for you, maybe it's something like that, or maybe it's planning, or maybe it's Maybe it's more in just your actions and reactions. Maybe you set your intentions around being, accomplishing a certain goal, or maybe it's a variety. For me, it's a variety. I think about every single area of life. I think about contributions. I think about finances. I think about spiritual. I think about relationships. I think about health, and I think about my career. So all six of those things play into my day every single day, whether it's praying for people like in the well community, whether it's actually creating content or doing coaching, whether it is, learning more about investing, whatever it is. I speak to all six areas of my life. So, relationships, who do I need to reach out to? Have I heard from the children in the last couple of days? School started. Let me check with that one. Sometimes I make notes and little things like that that I want to remember to do. But all of those are intentions. I mean, that's how I live my life. And for you, as you move forward in growing your identity and your values and becoming the person that you so desire to be, making the impact that you want to make, being the leader that you want to be, or just being retired, enjoying yourself on the beach, right? Whatever that means for you, set your intentions daily. I want to talk about journaling, but specifically gratitude journaling. And we'll touch on another type of journaling later. But this is such an important part of my life, having a gratitude practice. A part of what I do when I walk. I don't typically walk with people. I don't have a walk buddy, an exercise buddy. I don't need anything like that. I don't desire that. That's my time. It's my meditation time. Sometimes it's my prayer time as well. And it is about gratitude for me. I enjoy looking in nature. I enjoy speaking to the neighbors. That's my time that I've made relationships now where I hope I can pour into their life. I hope that I can even just give them a smile and a good morning and how are you doing and how's your wife? I mean, how's your spouse? How's your grandkids? That's a big part of my gratitude practices when I'm walking, but all of that matters because gratitude is not just thank you, thank you, thank you. It's action, and I show my gratitude for what I've been given by trying to pour it into other people. So yes, I'm thankful for my family and I'm thankful for my husband and I'm thankful for my home and I'm thankful for my health and my dogs and for the sun and I could go on, right? But being able to write those things as well, and what a beautiful gift if you can have a gratitude journal. You guys know last year I had a blessings jar, and I didn't do it in 2024. I move on to the next thing, but I have a blessings jar, and it was just so fun to write those things and then open them back up and look at them and go, wow, had all these beautiful memories of beautiful trips, time with the grandchildren, just special, precious memories. All right, let's talk about planning a little bit, okay? 20 minutes a day. You could transform your whole life just by having a steady calendar and a plan. A steady calendar and a plan. I have my time blocked. There's certain things I do every day. I have my exercise time. I have my work time. I have my coach call times. I have my consulting times. I have the time I rest. I have the time I make dinner. And I know that a lot of you, depending on where you are in this season, maybe that's not the life you've mapped out, or maybe it was not even in your control. And you find yourself really time being very valuable. The one thing that I think is so important in self care is something as simple as just taking the 20 minutes. If every woman out there struggling would just say, I'm going to give 20 minutes to learn over the next year how to be the happiest and healthiest I could be, and every time they went to eat or shop or sit down and watch endless hours of TV or snack, they could Google and learn. the value of time blocking is so that you can go in and you can look at your life and you could be like, wow, I spend a lot of time talking about Sally's problems. I spend 2 hours a day, wasting it here or there. It's so important for you to look at your calendar. Okay. Um, I talk about goal setting a lot. Honestly, I'm really over goal setting. If I can be honest here, and if you've been in my recent courses, you know it. I've moved more to identity and standards and values because goals don't work. Okay. I've tried scale goals, I've tried calorie goals, I've tried all of that. Long term for me, for weight loss, it's lifestyle. It's like, this is what I'm going to do consistently day after day. And whether it's limiting the snacking, waiting for hunger, making sure I get a second 20 or 30-minute exercise or movement in. I could go on and on, making sure to remember to get the extra water in, especially if I'm having that kind of day where I tend to snack. I mean, to me, all of those activities or those choices that I make or don't make come back to my identity, come back to who I am and my values. And when you operate off of identity and values instead of a future goal, this is a big philosophical mind shift I'm talking here now. So I'm halfway into this and I hope you're taking notes. But when you start getting into this type of mind shift, that I am going from, oh, let me lose 5 pounds, or oh, to I am going to not eat that because it's not healthy. I am going to stop that snacking, not bring it in my house, not buy it. Okay? And because I am looking at my identity, who do you want to be? You want to be happy? You want to be healthy? You want to be a beach bum? You want to be a corporate executive? You want to be grandmother of the year? You want to be a professional baker? I don't, that one you might leave alone. I don't think, I love bacon and I love sweets, but yeah, as you guys know, but I don't think I can do that. So I don't see myself as that identity. Um, Even, it's funny, through the years I've made jokes about being Paula Deen, and that I'm a good cook and that I could have my own cooking show. I actually tried out for a show, and they wanted to move me forward in the process, and I did not. And this is many years ago. This is 10 or 12 years ago with the Food Network. And I just, it wasn't my calling. Still not my calling. It's not my identity. Okay. And that can change, right? Because different seasons, sometimes you do find your identity in your job more or in your career. It's important to understand your values and your identity. I love this idea right here. You guys are going to remember it. It's an oldie but goodie. Daily reflection. But the reflecting is not enough alone. You got to reflect and reset. You have to really think, let me think through this day. What went wrong here? Where did I go off track? The off tracks will help you get a lot of information. This comes from asking yourself tough questions. Could you write that down in your notes? Ask yourself hard questions. If it went wrong, why? For instance, I'll give you an example. You have something healthy at home. You had a stressful day, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm just going to get this. Or you're going out to dinner. You know that you were planning on salad or steak or fish or whatever. You had planned a healthy thing in your mind, and then you get there, and you're in the moment, and maybe who you're with there's having cocktails, and you get caught up in that joyous thing, and you want to be like, I want to celebrate too, right? But those are the kind of things that when you ask yourself the tough questions as you reflect and reset, it will help you tomorrow. You know, this is where I went wrong. I have to remind myself, this is not how I celebrate. I don't celebrate with the breads and the cocktails and the desserts. We've talked about this many, many times. Most of us have a few bite rule when it comes to just anything processed. I mean, honestly, it's a rule we should live by, okay? And if you want to, do it. But it's because it's more than that. You cross the threshold, that whole palate, the chemistry, the biochemistry, all the mechanisms start firing with the bliss point of the food and the way it's chemically engineered. This could be a Pop Tart. This could be pasta. This could be a candy bar. This could be a cheesy dish at a restaurant. This could be bread and butter. I don't know what it is for you, but when you pinpoint these are the two things or three things that derail me. These are the two things or three things that derail me, and go to work full time on those things, you're going to transform. And you won't know what that is without some daily reflection and daily resetting. So, where did I go off today? You know what? Just on a whim, I put a few cookies in my mouth. It was mindless. I wasn't paying attention, or I got an urge so bad I could not give in, or I didn't plan. I know I enjoy something sweet. I want a few bites of it. I need to take the fruit with me so I won't, or I need to take a protein bar that's a better choice, or whatever that is. And then it helps you correct that behavior. All right. Continuing on, mindful eating. If you guys have paid attention in the Well Library, I put up a call with Karen and Karen Koenig, and it was a VIP. It wasn't VIP, or maybe it was Transform, and she was wonderful. And she talked about mindful eating, and I've talked a lot about it before too. Smaller plates. I had lunch today, and I don't always stop and like prepare something for myself, but I did today, brunch. And I had 3 eggs and a really good piece of toast, and with just a little bit of butter on it. And my eggs were basically cooked in water, just a little bit of water over medium. And that's what I cooked for myself today. And 3 eggs is quite a bit, but it was very filling. And I always know I'm going to give the dogs one of them. So there you go. But it was, I sat on a smaller plate. I sat down. It was brunch. It was around, I don't know what time it was, but I had a cup of coffee, with me, black coffee, and I set time to take. I was looking out the window at the bird feeder. I was really savoring each bite. I've been full the rest of the day. I mean, I've been full all day. It matters. It matters. You can so easily just take in 300, 400, 500, 800, 1,000 calories mindless eating. It's real hard to do that with fruits and veggies and lean meat, okay? And as you guys know, I've made it very clear that it is my goal the rest of my life to make fruit and veggies and lean meats 90% of what I put in my mouth. That's the only way to keep weight off. It's the only way, especially when you're eating 1,000, 1,500 calories of fruits and veggies and lean meat, lean proteins, eggs, right? A little bit of fat and a little bit of grains, but for the most part, your diet consists of fruits and veggies and lean protein. That is how I have found it easiest to wait for hunger. That's how I found it less to create cravings. I don't have it in the house. I don't bring sugar in the house. I don't bring oils in the house. I don't bake pastries or cakes anymore. All of those things, you know. Back to the 20 minutes, mindful eating, and being able to sit down and take a minute for yourself. The last one I'm going to talk about before we end up this 20 minutes to transform, because you have a lot to think about, is prioritizing your daily task. And you might have one task in all 6 areas of your life. You might have 3 main tasks. You might have 3 at your job and 3 at home. It might be something you've been putting off a long time. I don't know. Think through prioritizing your task. So that's 20 minutes a day you might spend doing that. 20 minutes a day with reflecting. You might put in many of those things, maybe not the mindful eating, but many of these things in a 20-minute segment. You might be able to do a little journaling and do some reflection and do all of that in 20 minutes. I hope you're enjoying this series. I'll see you on the next one.